welcome to the video. If you like magic content like this, I post 2 videos a week, so be sure to subscribe to learn more magic. I hope you enjoy learning this trick. Let's get into it. So this is the fan peak found in the Royal Road to Card Magic, also in ERDNASE, and we're going to be covering multiple ways to both ascertain the card or to force the card from the Royal Road to Card Magic in the tutorials this month, so be sure to be checking back for more of them. But to kick off with today's, this is a really interesting concept. Now, unfortunately for me, it's best for right-handed folks. So if you're left-handed like me, you have to get uncomfortable with this because you're going to start in your kind of mechanic's grip or dealer's grip, or maybe even better, a straddle grip. So this is where I would usually hold it as a left-handed person, but because the method requires it, I'm going to have to get comfortable holding it in this hand. Now, if you're a right-handed person, this is probably already going to be comfortable. Straddle grip here, you have the index on top, thumb on the side, your other fingers on the side except for the pinky here at the bottom. That supports the deck when you hold it vertically, which is what you're going to be doing when you hold it toward the participant. Now, if I had more strength in that hand, I would probably have an okay time dealing over like this, but even in this hand, it is more naturally comfortable for me to deal over cards like this in the straddle grip. It just supports everything. So you're going to want to be in your left hand peeling cards over, and this is regardless of handedness. So the cards are going to be kind of feeding over into this hand, and they can say stop where they want. Now, that's how I saw one person perform it on a different project, but they don't have to select it this way. They can just select the card normally, and then you have them place it back inside. But regardless, you're going to want to be in a position where you kind of have their card sticking out in this kind of pose. So just to belabor this point, in this hand, you have the cards going over kind of like this, where you're pinching them here, your thumb and your 2 or 3 fingers, or your whole hand, whatever, you're pinching them. That's how you retrieve them from this straddle grip hand that is thumbing them over. Or if you did a full spread to then receive the card back, you're spreading it over with your thumb, you're pinching underneath with your hand here on the other side with your right hand. So why do we have to do that? Well, this method is a peek of the index of the card. The index is this part here that has the value in suit. And so you think of the card as a whole thing, but really you only need to ascertain that much to get the identity of the card. And so we're taking advantage of that here. And the method is that as you're showing the card, like let's say it's this card here, you're going to come over with your thumb, which is in perfect position to peel this over so you can peek at the identity of the card just like that. So we're coming over, we have a card selected, and under the cover of these cards, we're going to push up with our thumb, which allows us to peek at that index. As you can see here, it's just enough of a glimpse, that way you're not bending the card, and then you can place it back down and straighten it out, place it all back together, and then you can even have them shuffle. After doing this to a few cards, you can definitely end up with a little bit of a bend in that card. That's okay, you might even take advantage of that, but for it to not be so obvious, you do want to bend it back in that motion of you placing the card back in the deck. So again, let's say it's this one, you get your peak 9 of spades, you bend it back under the cover of the front cards, and then you're good to go. As far as angles go, I wanted to take a moment to give a huge shout out to my channel members. You guys are the best. So one of the ways you can support this channel is by becoming a channel member. At the supporter tier, you get exclusive badges, as well as access to my behind the scenes library that I've begun building out. So things like how I film my magic videos, some looks into my card collection, discussions on theory, stuff like that. At the insider tier, I've been building a bonus trick library. So every month on the free videos for this channel, I teach from classic magic works like the Royal Road to Card Magic, Expert at the Card Table, the Tarbell Course in Magic, things like that. And so that's still there, but on the insider tier, I just teach a bonus trick every month. So from whatever that same book we're kind of discussing in a given month, I'll pull an extra trick to go into the bonus trick library. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, but you're also interested in some of those perks, you can check that out there. You can click the join button below. I also have some merch, which can be a great way for you to show people that you're a magician, might even be a good inroad to you doing some tricks for them, as well as a ton of items that are basically just gaffs. They have card reveals on them. And if you're a magician, you know that you can use those for some pretty powerful tricks. So those are all just some ways you can support me. But for now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. As far as angles go, you are pretty well covered from this front you know, you have this kind of screen in front of it. It's really just that, you know, as I do it here, see, even there you can't see that I'm bending it back, but I would be able to get a legitimate peek here. I think from this angle, it looks like they're gonna see that bend of the card coming up along this edge. So that is something to be aware of, and you definitely wanna practice this in the mirror, but I think you actually have a lot of coverage from this hand here. So thanks to these cards, you're doing pretty good. Now, a little bit of influence from a performer who used this for a marketed effect. I'm not going to reveal his method for the marketed effect, but I like how in his case, he actually, he made note of the fact that there was no markings on the cards. You don't have to do that if you don't want to put that in your head, but because that isn't the method here, it might play to the effect's advantage. So being able to show them, hey, these cards don't have anything that would let me know what they are, and then going into the, you know, procedure of having them say stop or select a card, and then you get that peek and you go into it. And then the fact that you're able to immediately let them shuffle, that's pretty dang awesome. And I like how fair this looks. Like, this looks like a normal procedure, right? Spread cards, poke one card up and say, just memorize that card and place it back in. In this case too, it's almost even more impressive that they don't take the card out and reinsert it, because that can have kind of implications for like, oh, maybe the magician is controlling the card. So the fact that it only barely peeks out and then you place it back in and have them shuffle, there's something that you can actually make more fair feeling out of it if you do go with that procedure of having them just say stop or touch a card, and then you go back in and give it to them immediately to shuffle. So how would that look like in a trick? Well, like I said, maybe having them start by shuffling. You can mention the fact that these are not marked if you would like, and you're going to accentuate the fact that you're not taking a look at the cards. You're saying that you're looking away, and so you can turn your head to the side as they say stop or touch one. When they touch one, by necessity, it's going to feel natural for you to look at them, but they've been given the promise and you're still behind these cards. And so as you're behind them, you can get that peek. I can see the 4 of hearts here as the performer. Bend that back, place it inside, and that's all as you're just inviting them. Make sure they memorize that card. Immediately give it to them to shuffle. They can shuffle the cards, and then you can go into a mind reading procedure. One fun thing to do is to like gradually eliminate cards, and then, you know, you go down to like a final 2 or something and you show them their card. Anything you want. You can write the card down. It's a peek, so that's how you put it into a trick, is by you're going to move to some form of revelation. There's also other tricks that this is really helpful for, like the biddle trick. Be sure to check out the biddle trick tutorial on this channel, because it does require you to know the name of the card, and so this could go right into that pretty dang well. Just want to give a warning, after you do this several times, your deck might look like this, so it's definitely something to be aware of, and might make you pause as to whether you are going to be doing this constantly. But I do think the principle at play is really cool here, and you do get this really fair display of the card, and then they can shuffle the deck. So don't let this scare you, just do be aware of how it can affect your cards. But there you go. That's a really cool one, and it's exciting to kick off with that one for our series on the Royal Road to Card Magic this month, so be sure to keep checking back for more. If you enjoyed that video, help me out by liking and subscribing. Check out the other video that YouTube is going to recommend to you on the end screen here. But until next time, keep enjoying your magic, stay a hobbyist at heart, and I'll see you guys in the next video.